Hello, everybody, and welcome to WCBN Sports presentation of Michigan baseball. Well, the rain has subsided for just long enough to allow for some baseball this afternoon from cloudy Ann Arbor at Ray Fisher Stadium alongside John Tondora. I'm Jared Greenspan here in the booth this afternoon for WCBN Sports. Well, it's the beginning of a crucial three-game set for Michigan. They welcome their in-state rival, the Michigan State Spartans, into town. Michigan comes in at 19-17 with a 7-5 mark in Big Ten play. They've lost 4 of their last 6, including a midweek game against Toledo on Wednesday. But the Wolverines have a big boost this afternoon. Jimmy Obertop, their star catcher who has missed all year due to an arm injury, returns, and he's thrown right into the fire, batting 4th at DH, and that is a huge development for Michigan.
Yeah, Jared, certainly, what we see is a Jimmy Obertop who certainly wants to come back with a little bit of energy. Midway through the season here for the Wolverines, that they're going to need that bat support. In reality, we're looking at a Michigan State team that has been uber successful so far this year in their pitching. And Jimmy Obertop, despite not having a game to his name yet for this 2023 campaign, he certainly has the skill set. Slashed .278 average last year, 15 home runs, and pouring in 54 RBIs. He certainly has the bat the Wolverines need for the spark this year.
And we'll run you through the starting lineups real quick on both sides, beginning with the visiting team, the Michigan State Spartans. Michigan State enters the game at 23-11 with a 6-3 mark in Big Ten play. Jake Boss's team had their 6-game winning streak snapped with a midweek loss over the week. Trent Farquhar leads off and plays second base. He's hitting .390 on the year, one of 6 Michigan State players in the starting 9 batting over .300. Mitch Jebb bats second and plays shortstop. Brock Bradenberg batting third and playing first base. He leads the team with a .418 batting average and a .730 slugging percentage. Sam Bush bats fourth. That's the designated hitter. Brian Becker batting fifth behind the plate. Jack Frank batting sixth and playing right field. Dylan Kark at the hot corner batting seventh. Casey Mays batting eighth in left field. And Greg Ziegler rounds out the starting 9 in center field. And Michigan State sends its customary Friday starter to the mound. It's Joseph Jerwa, 4-1 on the year, making his 9th start as a 4.40 ERA. 38 strikeouts and 47 innings pitched. Allows the opposition to hit just .242. Now for Tracy Smith's team, Michigan enters the game at 19-17 with a 7-5 mark in Big Ten play. Wolverines trying to get back on track. They've dropped 4 of their last 6 games after opening Big Ten play on a high note. Cody Jeffress, of course, starts his 37th game at shortstop and in the leadoff spot. He carries a 7-game on-base streak into the game this afternoon. Ted Burden right behind him at second base batting second. Jonathan Kim now slotted in the routine in that 3-hole. Bats third and plays center field. And the aforementioned Jimmy Obertop makes his season debut batting fourth as designated hitter. 15 home runs last year for Obertop. Jack Van Remortel bats fifth and plays first base. Van Remortel hitting .412 over his last 5 games. Mitch Voigt, who homered on Wednesday, bats sixth and plays third base. Jake Marty hitting 7th in right field. Tito Flores right behind him in the 8th slot in left field. And Gabe Sotrace, the Michigan State transfer, rounds out the starting 9 behind the plate. And Michigan will send Noah Renard to the mound this afternoon. Connor O'Halloran, the normal Friday starter and the Big Ten leader in ERA and strikeouts, will pitch someday this weekend, but it won't be today. O'Halloran pitched both Friday and Sunday, throwing 6 innings of relief in the suspended game against Rutgers on Sunday, and so Tracy Smith wants to give him a little more rest rather than throwing him into the fire in the Friday night slot. So it's Renard who enters the game at 5-2 with a 4.91 ERA, set to make just his 3rd start of the year. He's thrown 40 1/3 innings pitched, struck out 40 hitters, and allows the opposition to hit just .223. So that's the starting 9 for both sides. Michigan and Michigan State standing around on the field right now. It's 4 o'clock. First pitch coming up in just a few moments. The Wolverines wearing their home whites with the stripes. Blue caps with blue bills and the maize block M emblazoned on top. Michigan State going with their road green tops with white numbering and white lettering, and gray pants and the green helmets. It is a cloudy day at Ray Fisher Stadium. It rained for most of the day. We weren't sure if we're going to get this ball game in, but the rain has stopped. It's still overcast, and a chilly 50 degrees, but it's about time for baseball as Michigan takes the field with first pitch coming up in just a few moments. So Noah Bernard toes the rubber, getting set for his warm-up pitches. They'll face a tough Michigan State lineup. The Spartans, as I mentioned a few moments ago, have 6 players in the starting 9 batting over 300. They're second in the conference in batting average, second in on-base percentage, and third in slugging. So it's a tall ask for Bernard, who gets the ball today. Tracy Smith has been starved for pitching all year, looking for dependable arms beyond O'Halloran and Chase Allen. It's a big task for Bernard today as he'll look to step up in the start in just a few moments. So we'll run you through the defensive alignment for Michigan behind Bernard this afternoon. Tito Flores, Jonathan Kim, and Jake Marty left to right in the outfield. Mitch Voigt mans the hot corner. It's the dependable middle infield combination of Cody Jefferson and Ted Burden. Each have started all 37 games for Michigan this year up the middle. And Jack Van Remortel draws the start at first, and then it's Gabe Sotrace behind the plate, a Michigan State transfer, ready for his second game against his former team. It's Noah Bernard on the mound for Michigan. The 6'3", 205-pound senior right-handed pitcher from Santa Rosa, California, toes the rubber. He'll make just his 3rd start of the season to open up this critical 3-game set between Michigan and Michigan State. Trent Farquhar, left-handed hitter, digs into the box, the second baseman, and Bernard toes the rubber into the windup. His first pitch clips the outside corner, a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1. First pitch time, 4:02 p.m., a temperature 55 degrees in cloudy Ray Fisher Stadium. Bernard's 0-1, down the middle for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2. Farquhar, left-handed hitter, hitting .390 on the season. Started all 34 games for Michigan State. Bernard's 0-2 is a fastball that rides high, 1-2.
And that's going to be a key to the game for Bernard today is he able to have control over that fastball, Jared? We saw it sneak in there for a strike for that second pitch, but it's going to be a long day if it keeps going high.
The 1-2 pitch, and it's high again, another fastball, 2-2. Bernard has 18 walks on the year and just over 40 innings pitched, so command not exactly his strong suit. He walked 4 batters his last time out against Rutgers. 2-2 pitch. Slap to left, down the line, chasing Flores over, slicing foul. And we'll do it again.
That's going to be a key for Bernard here today is can he keep those pitch counts low? You know, you see we're working into a deeper set of pitches here, and if control's an issue, you don't want to be battling in those longer at-bats.
And Farquhar, tough to strike out, has struck out just 15 times on the season. 2-2 the count. Bernard into the windup and deals. A breaking ball just dips inside, says home plate umpire Chris Koski, and it's 3-2. Chris Koski calling balls and strikes. Mark Winters at first, Matthew Anderson at second, and Sean Howard the ump at third. 3-2 pitch coming home, and the fastball is low, ball 4. And so Farquhar battles his way back from 0-2 to work a walk to give the Spartans a leadoff base runner.
Yeah, Jared, and that's the exact start you want initially if you're Bernard going up 0-2. That's a pitcher's count most definitely, but after some control issues and then not being able to get past Farquhar with that foul ball, you see suddenly there's a man on, no outs, and Bernard's going to have to pull it together quickly.
Mitch Jebb steps in. The first pitch is lined to second. Leaping catch made by Ted Burden. He had that lined up perfectly, soared into the air, and snagged it on a line to rob Jebb of a base hit for the first out of the afternoon.
And, you know, despite getting some good contact on that bat, you know, Jebb was not able to come through with it. I think that's just a credit to Burton's ability at the position. We know he's a defensive stronghold there for the Wolverines, and they're going to need more of that if they want to quiet this potent offense.
Brock Brandenburg into the box for Michigan State, another left-handed hitter. Renard's first pitch is a breaking ball on the corner for a strike, 0-1. 4 left-handed hitters in this Michigan State lineup at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, all bat from the left-handed side against Noah Renard. Short lead off first for Farquhar. The 0-1 tails low and in. Sotre slides to his right to stop it, and it's 1-1. Well, Vredenberg is the big force in the middle of this Michigan State order. Bats .418, has 8 home runs and 43 RBI. That's 12 more than anyone else on his team. 1-1 pitch, chopped to first, a foul ball. Van Remortel, who is holding on Farquhar, had that line covered, and it's 1-2. A chilly day at Ray Fisher Stadium as we open this 3-game set between Michigan and Michigan State. It's Renard towing the rubber. His last time out did not fare well against Rutgers. 1-2 pitch. Chop back to the mound. Renard fields the comebacker. Spikes the throw to second. Jeffers fields, throws to first. Not in time. Well, that was a tailor-made 1-6-3 double play, except Noah Renard spiked the throw to second. Jeffers did well to field the short hop just to get 1 out. And so 2 away. Vredenberg, who hustled down the line, is on at first. And Sam Bush, another left-handed hitter, coming to the plate.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit of nerves there for Renard, but at the same time, we've spoken about how it's been a cloudy day, and we were wondering if we could even get this game in. So perhaps a little bit of a wet ball, a little bit of jitters, and, 2 outs turns only into 1.
First pitch comes home. Check swing. Did he go? He did on the changeup, and it's 0-1. Vredenberg, the runner on first, with 2 away, and an 0-1 count to Sam Bush. Renard, that last time out against Rutgers, was tagged for 5 runs on 6 hits and 4 walks and didn't make it out of the 4th inning. The 0-1 pitch. Laced into right field for a base hit. Vredenberg's hustling around second. He's going to go to third as Marty tosses it into the cutoff man Jeffress. It's a base knock into right field for Bush, and the Spartans have runners at the corners with 2 away in the first.
Certainly, Jared, and suddenly that missed double play starts to feel a little more on edge if you're the Wolverines. You're kicking yourself if you're Renard, but he's going to have to stay focused and just get out of this inning if Michigan wants to take it back at 0-0 going into the bottom of the first.
Well, Renard has allowed at least 1 run in each of his last 7 appearances, and he's in a dangerous situation early with runners in the corners and 2 away, and Brian Brecker, a .343 hitter, at the plate. First pitch home is a fastball that rides high, ball 1. Renard making just his 3rd start of the year. He's appeared in 15 games out of the bullpen as a bit of a long reliever, swingman type player for Tracy Smith. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. On the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1, a fastball. Vredenberg leads off third with Bush off of first. Not much speed on the bases. Renard comes set. 1-1 pitch. Low, smothered by Sotrace. Nice job by Sotrace to keep that one in front of him. It's 2-1 now the count.
And back to Renard's, somewhat up and down season here. We know Tracy Smith preaches versatility with every single one of his players, and that is no different from Renard getting the starting job today, but he's been all over for the Wolverines.
2-1 pitch. Chop to third. Voigt fields it on a couple of hops. Makes the long throw across the diamond in time to retire the side. So Noah Renard works his way out of the jam to pitch a scoreless first. Heading to the bottom of the first from Ray Fisher. It's no score between Michigan and Michigan State.
And certainly now, if you're the Wolverines, you can breathe a sigh of relief after that missed turn 2. Now you have the opportunity to come up and hopefully put up some crooked numbers by the end of today because, if you're Michigan, you understand that this Spartan team does not give up. They are a team that's slashing all over the place this season, and they'll eventually make you pay if you don't take advantage when you can.
And good poise as well from Renard. Not rattled after he spiked that throw to second. Equally not rattled after giving up the 2-out base knock to put runners at the corners. He did well to control himself and retire Brecker, a .343 hitter, to send us to the bottom of the first with no score. So Noah Renard does his job in the top of the first, and we switch things over to the bottom of the first. Michigan gets its first crack at bat against the southpaw Joseph Giroir. The freshman has a 4.40 ERA, making his 9th start of the year. He's thrown 47 innings, allowed 43 hits, walked 13 batters, and struck out 38. Has a 4-1 mark to his name and allows the opposition to hit just .242. A couple of lefties at the top of Michigan's order against Jerwa. It's Cody Jeffress leading off, Ted Burden in the 2-hole, and Jonathan Kim batting third. And if anyone gets on this inning, it's the big bat of Jimmy Obertop, looming in the cleanup hole and set to make his season debut.
And, it starts right at the top there with Cody Jeffries. 8 stolen bases, 8 for 8 on the season. We know that a key to this Wolverine offense is getting him on base. The second you can get him on base, things change for Spartan pitching. They're going to have to keep a watchful eye for Jeffries, as we know he's ready and he's potent to steal bases and take advantage of any opportunity that he can.
Jerwa completing his warm-up pitches just now. He's a big presence on the mound, 6'7" and a lanky 180 pounds. The freshman from Haskins, Ohio, has really emerged as a stalwart atop Michigan State's rotation. Cody Jeffress, left-handed hitter, steps into the box to greet him. Jeffress has started all 37 games for Michigan this year, the transfer making his mark at leadoff and at shortstop. Jeffress, left-handed hitter, steps into the box. The 6'7" Joseph Jerwa stands on the mound. Into his windup, his first pitch home, tails inside, a fastball at 85 miles an hour for a ball, and it's 1-0. Jerwa into the windup. The 1-0 is rolled foul up the first base side, 1-1. It's Jeffress, Burden, and Kim, 1, 2, 3 in the Michigan order here in the bottom of the first. No score after Noah Renard worked a scoreless top half of the inning. 1-1 the count to Jeffress. Jerwa into the windup, and he misses outside with an off-speed pitch, 2-1. The second baseman Farquhar on the lip of the outfield grass against Jeffress. Takes the 2-1 inside. He checked his swing, but no appeal down to third. And it's 3-1. Ted Burden, the second baseman, looms on deck. 3-1 the count. Jerwa deals. And that's over for a strike, 3-2. Jeffress showing bunt and then pulling back. 241 hitter on the year. Riding a 7-game on-base streak. The 3-2 fouled right at the plate. And the 7th pitch of the at-bat upcoming from Jerwa to Jeffress. Outfield straight up. Medium depth. Jerwa into the windup. 3-2 pitch. And Jeffress flares it to left. Mays coming on. A long run. He's not going to get there. It's down for a base hit. Jeffress takes a hard turn around first, but holds on there as Mays gets to it. And it's a lead-off base knock for Cody Jeffress.
And it's an impressive at-bat for Jeffries that we see there, working deep into the count, making his opposing pitcher have to come up and play against him, bring the heat, and eventually, it might not be the prettiest hit you've ever seen, just kind of drooping over into short left field there, but the fact of the matter is he's on base nonetheless, and as we've spoken about, getting on base is how this Wolverine team succeeds.
He's stolen 8 bags on the year, yet to be caught. Takes a big lead off of first. Jerwa's first pitch to Burden is fouled off down the right field side out of play. 0-1. Jeffress really couldn't have placed that base knock any better, just dunking it into left, and he's now been on base in 8 straight games atop the Michigan batting order. He leads off first as Jerwa looks towards first, now peers home and deals. The 0-1 just off the outside corner, missed on an off-speed pitch, and it's 1-1. Jonathan Kim on deck as Michigan looks to get something going here in the first off the freshman Joseph Jerwa. 1-1 pitch. Inside and low, ball 2. Nobody out here in the bottom of the first, with Cody Jeffress leading off of first base after his leadoff single.
Jerwa here looking to corral his control early. It's a wet day, and hopefully that comes together soon.
2-1 the count. Jerwa deals, and Burden lifts it in the air towards right. Not hit well towards the line. Frank angling over in fair territory, makes the one-handed catch, and he fires it to the second baseman as Jeffress bluffs the tag for the first out of the inning.
If you're Burton, you're looking to have that one out. You're looking to have that one back. You think for a second it might be going out, but the fact of the matter is it lands right out into right field. Perfect for the right fielder to make the play.
And the wind, there's not much of it, but it is blowing in. And it kind of hooked that ball towards the line and kept it in the ballpark, 320 feet down that line and right. So here's Jonathan Kim, left-handed hitter, steps in against the southpaw Jerwa. Jeffress leading off of first with 1 away. Jerwa's pitch, and Kim swings through a fastball, 0-1. 3 infielders on the right side of the infield against Kim, the left-handed hitter, with the shortstop Jeb a few feet to the right of that second base bag. 0-1 the count. Jerwa deals. That's on the outside corner for a strike. Another fastball, and it's 0-2.
Kim, known for his aggressive style, 0-2, not necessarily where he wants to be, but he has experience operating out of these places.
0-2 the count. Big hole in the left side for Kim. Here's the pitch. Bends outside, 1-2. With 2 strikes, the third baseman Kark has moved basically into the shortstop position against Kim, with the fear of the bunt all but dissipated. Jeffress with a short lead on at first. He's held on by Bradenberg. 1-2 the count. And first a throw over to first. Jefferson standing. Jimmy Obertop waits on deck. Jeffress with the lead off first. Jerwa comes set. The 1-2 to Kim. Ripped into right field, just foul. That had extra bases red all over it, but Kim yanked that one a bit too far foul. And so it remains 1-2.
And if you're Kim, you're probably kicking yourself. A breaking ball coming inside. He jumps on it just a little too much. And suddenly, as you mentioned, Jared, perhaps a double becomes nothing much.
Jerwa comes to the belt. Eyes Jeffress at first. Steals home. The 1-2 laced into right center. This one's hit pretty well. Ziegler and Frank in the gap. That's off the wall. Jeffress heading towards third. It's fielded by Ziegler. Jeffress going to be waved around. Kim on his way to third. He's in with a triple. And Jonathan Kim with a one-out triple to score. Jeffress gets Michigan on the board first. It's 1-0.
Suddenly that foul ball doesn't seem too bad, huh, Jared? Give up the double and you'll take the triple if you're Jonathan Kim. Now the Wolverines are in striking distance to perhaps break this game open, as we know the ever-dangerous Jimmy Obertop steps up to the plate.
And here is Jimmy Obertop, who gets a rousing ovation, set to make his first at-bat of the year. He's been out all year with an arm injury. Was fabulous last season as a junior. Blasted 15 homers, drove in 54 runs as a cog in the middle of that Michigan order. Now has a chance to drive in one here in his first at-bat with Kim off third and 1 away. First pitch to Obertop is a curveball just off the outside corner, 1-0. Well, Obertop originally entered his name into the transfer portal over the offseason when Eric Bakich left. 1-0 the count. Jerwa deals. Lifted foul down the right field side, 1-1. But after Michigan hired Tracy Smith, Obertop sat down with the coaching staff and decided to return to Michigan. And here he is, finally getting a chance to play in his senior season on April 21st. Kim with a short lead off third. 1-1 the count. Jerwa deals home. Fastball at the letters for a strike, and it's 1-2. Jack Van Remortel on deck. Obertop as the DH this afternoon. Catcher and first base last season, but easing his way back in. 1-2 pitch. Fouled off again down the right field side into the parking lot, and it stays 1-2. So Michigan has already tagged Joseph Jerwa for a run in the first, threatening to add some more with Kim at third and 1 away, and they're really making Jerwa work. He comes set. 1-2 the count to Obertop. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, popped up foul down the right field side, and this one will hook into the parking lot at a play. And it hits the pavement, evading any cars.
One thing that you have to be impressed with here out of Obertop is despite being out for so long, he's staying aggressive and fighting deep into this count.
1-2 the count. Obertop staying alive. Jerwa's pitch. Swing and a miss. Went after the fastball off the plate, and Jimmy Obertop is retired for the first time this year. And here comes Jack Van Remortel trying to drive home Kim, who's still at third with 2 away now.
Deeper into this lineup now, hitting in the 5th spot, but Van Remortel slashing .305 so far. We know that he has the ability to drive this run in. Certainly something the Wolverines are looking for. On the flip side, Obertop probably disappointed by that strikeout, but staying aggressive is how you get hot coming out of these injuries.
Van Remordo looking to drive in the run. Jorwa's first pitch is a curveball on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Interesting defensive alignment against Van Remordo, the right-handed hitter, with the second baseman Farquhar just to the right of that second base bag. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Laced towards right center. Ziegler chasing it back in the gap. Still on the run, and he makes the catch at the track. Well, he had that red all the way and was on his horse, able to track it down. At the end of one from Ray Fisher, it's 1-0 Michigan. Wolverines with a couple of hits. They leave a runner at third. We're heading to the second. Michigan on top, 1-0.
And you know, Jared, that's a great track by Ziegler, especially when you consider on a wet, rainy surface like today, and considering the turf style of Michigan's ball field. The fact of the matter is you cannot afford to make any mistakes when it comes to tracking down balls. He gets on a great jump. Right now, I wish I had a replay video cam. I'd be able to tell you more about it. But the fact of the matter is he gets out there, and he gets right there under it. What looked like it could have been a little bit of extra damage for the Wolverines doesn't materialize thanks to Ziegler's skill.
So Noah Renard out for his second inning of work to begin the top of the second. Michigan gets the run and the RBI triple by Jonathan Kim, but then Obertop and Van Remordo unable to drive him home. We'll see if that comes back to bite the Wolverines as this game moves along. There'll be 6, 7, and 8 in the Michigan State order up against Renard, Frank, Kark, and Mays.
And finally, a little bit of relief if you're Renard. You know, Michigan State touting a lot of lefty batters, as we know, but there are some righties coming up. We know that number 7, Dylan Kark for Michigan State is a righty, as well as later in the lineup, number 9, should he get there, Greg Ziegler. So perhaps a little bit of a breath of fresh air for Renard after facing so many lefties out of that right-handed position.
Jack Frank, the right fielder and left-handed hitter, into the box. Renard's first pitch is ripped into right field for a base hit. So Frank wastes no time, and he gives the Spartans a leadoff base runner to open the second.
And that's a great recovery by that batter there, because we understand Renard likes to pitch fast. He likes to get settled in his own time, and sometimes that's a little too much for batters to handle, but after a slash like that, suddenly there's one on, no outs, and another pitch incoming.
Dylan Kark steps into the box and takes a first pitch strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Kark hitting an even 300 on the year. Playing third base this afternoon. Short lead up first for Frank. Renard's 0-1. A curveball swung on and missed. And it's 0-2. Nice job behind the plate by Sotrace. Able to block that one. Frank has stolen 15 bags on the year. 0-2 pitch home, ripped in the air towards left center. This one's hit well. Flores chasing it. It's going to one-hop the wall, and it's going to go out of play. It bounced over that wall and left, and that's going to save Michigan for the moment. It'll cost Michigan State a run as Frank, who has plenty of speed, was blazing home. Instead, it's a ground rule double off the bat of Dylan Kark, and Jack Frank will be called back to third base.
And now 2 on with nobody out, second and third for Michigan State. If you're Noah Renard, we saw him get out of the jam last inning, but it's questionable if he can do it again. Of course, Michigan State ever dangerous. You can never let your eye off of them, but we're going to have to see how Renard recovers. And for the Wolverines, you're hoping he can have that magic he had in the first.
Michigan clenching a 1-0 lead. Renard's first pitch home is lifted in the air towards right center. Not too deep, but should be deep enough. Kim angles in the gap. He'll make the catch. Here comes Frank. He's going to score. The throw hits the cutoff man. Off to third goes Kark. He's in safely. It's a very productive sacrifice fly off the bat of Casey Mays to tie this game at 1.
And, you know, Kim, we know he has a strong arm, but just not strong enough. Michigan State lifting it deep enough there. You know, it's a little deceiving, but almost 400 feet at 395 feet out there into center field. It's tough to get that ball back in there. The cutoff man tries his best to get the out at third, but now we have a 1-1 game.
And so Michigan State now in the same position that Michigan was in the bottom of the first, with a man at third and 1 away. Renard at the belt. His first pitch home to Ziegler is a breaking ball over for a strike, 0-1. Wolverines had Kim on at third with one away, and Obertop struck out, and Van Remortel flew out to center, leaving a duck on the pond. Renard will look to twirl similar magic here against Michigan State. The 0-1 way outside on a fastball, and it's 1-1. Ziegler out of the 9-hole, but still a .260 hitter. He's 2 home runs, and he's driven in 10 runs on the year. Right-handed hitter steps back into the box. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball fouled straight back off the screen. 1-2. Trent Farquhar, the leadoff hitter, looms on deck. An important batter here for Renard, with Kark leading off third and 1 away. Infield pinches in. The 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Strike 3 called. And Renard gets a king-size second out via the strikeout.
And now you're just one step closer. You know, for Renard, the job's not finished, but that's got to be a little bit of the monkey off the back. Just one more out, and you can escape and leave Michigan State with the same fate that Michigan's batters faced just a half inning ago.
And so here's Trent Farquhar, left-handed hitter, as we turn things over back to the top of the lineup. Renard's first pitch to Farquhar is a breaking ball low, 1-0. Farquhar fell behind 0-2 leading off this ball game and then worked a walk, giving Michigan State a leadoff base runner. He was erased on a fielder's choice. 1-0 the count. Kark leads off a third. Here's the pitch. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1. Farquhar hitting .390 on the year. One of the top hitters in this high-octane Michigan State batting order. 1-1 the count. Renard comes set. Here's the pitch. Just off the outside corner, says Chris Koski, and it's 2-1.
And what's most impressive about Farquhar, you see here, 34 games started, 34 games played. He's been a stalwart for this Michigan State team.
Looking to give the Spartans the lead here in a 1-1 game. The 2-1, well inside, ball 3. Mitch Jebb is on deck. There's an open base at first with Kark leading off third, so Renard certainly doesn't want to groove a pitch here. 3-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball up and away, ball 4, and Farquhar has his second walk in as many plate appearances. The Spartans now with runners at the corners with 2 away, and Mitch Jebb coming to the plate.
And if you're Renard, perhaps momentarily relieved to take the walk. You know, there's worse things that we know Trent Farquhar can do to a pitcher than simply just get onto first base. We saw Renard get out of that first and third jam with 2 outs last inning, and there's a key to success here for Renard, being able to just stay ready, stay composed, and find success.
First pitch to Jebb is a changeup just low, 1-0. Jebb, left-handed hitter, lined out to second on a leaping snag by Burden in the first. Kark leads off third. Farquhar off first. A run already home in the second. The 1-0 pitch off the inside corner on a fastball, ball 2. And so Renard has fallen behind 2-0 with the ever-dangerous Vredenberg on deck. Infield, outfield, straight up, fairly deep against Jebb, the left-handed hitter. Renard comes set. Runners lead off the corners. The pitch in the dirt, blocked by Sotrace, and it's 3-0. So Renard has lost total control of the strike zone at a pivotal time. 3-0 the count. Kark leads off third. Farquhar off first with 2 away. The pitch. There's a strike on a fastball at 88 miles an hour, and it's 3-1. Curious to see if Renard goes right after Jebb here. 3-1 pitch. Ripped towards right. That's down for a base hit. Frank will score. Farquhar moves up to second. It's an RBI single off the bat of Jebb to give the Spartans their first lead of the day in the second. It's 2-1.
And, you know, we're only 2 innings in here for Noah Renard, but we've kind of seen a little bit of what Tracy Smith has been talking about in terms of finding consistency in pitching. And even Renard himself has been a little bit of a microcosm of that today. Missing high initially, now missing low, not being able to find the strike zone, sometimes missing just outside, just inside. He's put together some great pitching at-bats from that pitching standpoint, but he hasn't been able to string them together consistently.
First pitch to Vredenberg is popped up a mile high on the infield. Who wants it? Jeffress near the second base bag, waits for it to come down, and makes the two-handed catch to retire the side. But not before Michigan State strikes to take the lead. 2 runs and 3 hits, and 2 left, heading to the bottom of the second. It's 2-1, Sparty on top. So Renard unable to get out of that jam, but matters could have been worse. That was a precarious spot there with Radenberg, who hits it at a .418 clip coming to the plate with a couple man on. But Renard able to induce the inning-ending pop-up to limit the damage to just 2 runs.
And for a Wolverine team that's now lost 4 of its last 6 games, we know that this is where the money is made, and the resiliency that you can find coming out of these innings that, of course, don't go the way that Noah Renard or the Wolverines have drawn up. But the fact of the matter is you're only down 2-1. It's very attainable to come back into this game, and that is kind of the telltale sign of this young Michigan team. What does your ability to come back when down look like, especially against this proven and successful Michigan State squad?
And already you can tell this game has a markedly different tenor than it would if Connor O'Halloran be on the mound this afternoon. But O'Halloran getting a few extra days rest. He'll start at some point this series. Instead, it's Renard in the Friday slate. And you get the sense that Michigan's going to need a lot of runs to win this game today. Down 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the second. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 in the Michigan lineup against Joseph Jerwa, who toes the rubber for his second inning of work. Voit, Marty, and Flores stepping into the box this inning against Jerwa. And Mitch Voit, right-handed hitter, climbs into the batter's box just now. And Voit with a couple of hits and a home run in Wednesday's loss to Toledo. He's batting .267 on the year, the freshman.
Jerwa deals. Way outside, hitting the backstop, and that's 1-0.
Because he never said anything, so I didn't understand. Okay, cool. Sure, sounds good.
Jerwa deals. That's 2-0, another outside miss.
Thanks, John, for filling in briefly. 2-0 the count here to Voit in the bottom of the second. Jerwa into the windup, the lefty deals, and Voit swings through a fastball. It's 2-1.
Jerwa there finally finding what he was looking for on that breaking ball outside that missed twice previously.
The 2-1 pitch, low and in, ball 3, and so Voit in an advantageous count here leading off the second with Jake Marty waiting on deck. 3-1 the count. Jerwa into the windup and deals. It skips into the plate, ball 4, and Mitch Voit works a 5-pitch walk to begin the bottom of the second. So
thank you, Jared. If you want, maybe you look at Mitch Voit and you see that .267 batting average, you think, where does he fit into this lineup? When you look a little deeper into the numbers, you see a 333 on-base percentage. He does draw walks at a pretty high clip for somebody batting deep into this lineup, and it's something that the Wolverines need to set the table if they want to get back on top.
Marty, a right-handed hitter, climbs into the box with Voit leading off first and nobody out in the bottom of the second. Jerwa deals home, and he misses outside, ball 1. So Jerwa's thrown 6 pitches here in the second since being staked to a 2-1 lead, and he's missed the strike zone on 5 of them. Short lead on at first for Voit, and a throw back over to check on him, and Voit dives in safely. Yet to steal a bag in the year, so not much of a threat to go. Marty batting at a .296 clip. And another throw over to check on Voit, who's in standing. And the third baseman, Kark, is well in on the infield grass against Marty, as if suspecting a bunt here from Michigan's 7-hitter. 1-0 the count. Jerwa deals home. Breaking ball sails outside, ball 2. And a quick meeting to the mound as Brecker will jog out to the rubber to hand that ball back over to his pitcher, who is struggling to find the strike zone here in the second.
Certainly, Brecker doing the right thing here, having a little bit of chat with his pitcher. As we've seen, missing outside over and over again, especially to right-handed batters. And, you know, when you have righties up there, missing outside may not seem like a big deal, but the fact of the matter is one misplaced pitch, one overcorrection, and that ball might not be going where you want it to.
So 2-0 the count to Marty, with Voit, who walked, leading off of first. Jerwa's pitch home. And that's over for a strike on a fastball, and it's 2-1. So after the meeting at the mound, Joseph Jerwa finds the strike zone. 2-1 the count. Voigt with a short lead on at first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. Michigan trailing 2-1. Jerwa's pitch, swing and a miss by Marty. A hack and a miss on a fastball, and it's 2-2.
That one pretty evidently laid on the 88-mile-per-hour fastball by Jerwa. So if you're Marty, you need to settle in here and realize that he might not be missing outside anymore.
2-2 pitch. Wave and a miss. Late on another 89-mile-an-hour fastball, and Joseph Jerwa quickly rediscovers the zone to strike out Marty for the first out of the second.
And if you're Marty, that's a difficult position to be in. You know, you start out with a very positive hitter's count. Missing outside, Jerwa had looked like he was a little shaken, but then one visit by Brecker, who had to have some soothsaying words, I guess, and now it's a strikeout, and Marty's walking back to the dugout.
Tito Flores, right-handed batter, steps into the box. First pitch from the lefty, Jerwa, hammered out towards left center. This one hits well. Ziegler's back on the track. Looks like he'll have room, and he'll make the one-handed catch a couple feet shy of the fence for a very long second out.
And for Tito Flores, batting only 196 on the year, you know that that's something that he hopefully wished he was going to be able to attain. But warning track power pushing Ziegler right back to the wall there. We know it's deep out there here at Ray Fisher Stadium, but that was one the Wolverines really needed.
And so here's Gabe Sotrace now with 1 on and 2 out. The former Spartan steps in. His first pitch, it misses high, ball 1. 3 infielders on the left side against Sotrace. Transferred in from Michigan State in the offseason. In 2 seasons with the Spartans, played in 35 games and drew 29 starts. The 1-0, wave and a miss at a breaking ball, and it's 1-1.
Suddenly, Joseph Jerwa was looking like a completely different man after that mound visit. That breaking ball has suddenly become a stronger part of his rotation.
1-1 the count. Jerwa looks towards first, deals home. And Sotrace shoots it into right field through the vacated hole for a base hit. Voigt racing around second. He's going to go first to third. As Frank gets it in, it's a base knock for Gabe Sotrace, and the Wolverines runners at the corners with 2 away, and Cody Jeffress coming to the plate.
A little bit of announcer's jinx there. You know, you see one that we know Jerwa wanted to put outside again. It doesn't break as much as he had wanted it to, and suddenly it's going up right of second base, back the other way, and now you got runners on the corners.
So Jerwa eyeing a shutdown inning here. Michigan has other plans. Runners at the corners with 2 away in the bottom of the second, and the Spartans clenching a 2-1 lead. Voigt's the runner at third. He walked to begin the frame, and Sotrace on at first after a 2-out knock against his former team. Jeffress, the left-handed hitter, steps in against the southpaw Jerwa, whose first pitch rides high, a ball and a fastball, and it's 1-0. Jeffress dunked a single into left field that fell in front of Mays back in the first. Came around to score on a triple from Kim. 1-0 the count. Jerwa deals. Just on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1.
And it's an interesting task for Jerwa now, facing a lefty batter after missing outside to his left earlier. How is he going to recover now that, you know, a miss outside might be a hit by pitch?
1-1 the count. Jerwa deals home, and Jeffress fisted into shallow center, falling fast. Ziegler coming on, diving, can't make the catch. 1 run is in. Sotrace racing around. Ziegler gets through it. The throw home is cut off. 2 runs will score, and Michigan goes back in front. It's 3-2.
And that's one of those gritty plays that the Wolverines have taken advantage of all day. You know, Jerwa, you know, the advanced statistics aren't going to say that that was a hard hit ball by any means. A looper, a blooper, right, that drops in front of Ziegler. He can't come up with the catch, but the Wolverines are going to score all the same, and they're thankful to have it.
Well, Cody Jeffress should go play the lottery because he has dunked 2 balls in, 1 to left and 1 to center, that had no business being a base knock. They were both hits, and the latter just drove in a couple of runs. Jeffress leads off of first now as Ted Burden climbs in. The first pitch breaking ball from Jerwa misses outside, and it's 1-0. Wolverines have answered right back after the Spartans scored 2 runs in the top of the second. Michigan answers with 2 of their own in the bottom to take a 3-2 lead. Jerwa's 1-0 to Burden is a curveball over for a strike, and it's 1-1.
And that's a 2-out rally that looks like it's going to be a problem after Tito Flores flies out into deep left. But suddenly that resiliency that we spoke about comes right back.
Jerwa's 1-1. Burden swings through a fastball, and it's 1-2. Jonathan Kim would be next if Burden could keep this inning alive. 2 runs already home for the Wolverines, who now lead 3-2 in the second, in what has been an action-packed game through just a couple of frames. Jerwa looking to get out of a jam. 1-2. Burden fouls it straight back at a play, and he'll do it again. Jerwa really hasn't been able to put away a lot of hitters, especially in this inning. Got an ahead on a couple of guys, but struggling to see this one through. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Burden hammers that one into left field. That's down for a base hit. Jeffress pulls in at second. Burden on at first. Another hit this inning for the Wolverines. It's the 3rd straight 2-out hit for Michigan against Joseph Jerwa.
And, back to your point, Jared, Joseph Jerwa makes his money with the strikeout, not being able to draw much contact. 38 strikeouts over these 9 appearances. We know he has the ability to get some whiffs, but Michigan staying on top of it right now, finding some luck with some dink and dunk baseball. But if you're Michigan, you want to keep this rolling.
And here's Jonathan Kim with runners leading off first and second and 2 away. 3 infielders to the right side against Kim, who swings at the first pitch, lines it into right field, falling fast, down for a base hit. Jeffress is coming to score. Burden's on his way to third as Ziegler gets it into the cutoff man. It's another RBI base knock for Jonathan Kim. The 4th straight 2-out hit for the Wolverines, and it's 5-2 Michigan.
And if you're Spartan catcher Brian Brucker, you're looking to go up to that mound again. Maybe you need a little bit of a visit. Jerwa losing it fast here, and the Wolverines have a chance to break it open early.
4-2 Michigan, rather. The scoreboard that I'm reading off of got ahead of itself and said 5 for a moment. Now a conversation at the mound here as Jimmy Obertop strides to the plate with runners at the corners, and Joseph Jerwa really teetering. He had 2 out and a man on first with the number 9 hitter Gabe Sotrace at the plate. Sotrace singled through a vacated hole on the right side of the infield. Then Cody Jeffress dunked a single into center field. Ted Burden ripped a base knock into left, and now Jonathan Kim attacking the first pitch, lining it into center field. And Michigan all over Joseph Jerwa. And the conversation at the mound still ongoing. Chris Koski, the home plate umpire, is on his way out to break it up. 4-2 Wolverines now the score. Michigan entered this inning trailing 2-1, but have tagged Jerwa for a 3 spot in the second. And the pitching coach, Mark Vandermeer, is finally making his way off the mound. The infield back to their spots, and Jimmy Obertop, ready for his second at-bat of the season, climbs into the box. The right-handed hitter has missed all year with an arm injury. Struck out in his first plate appearance of the year with a runner at third back in the first. It's now up with the runners at the corners and 2 away. Jerwa comes set. Here's his first pitch. It's a curveball that loops outside, ball 1. Burden with speed off third, same for Kim on at first. The second baseman Farquhar is playing behind the bag against Obertop, leaving a big hole on the right side of the infield. The 1-0, and Obertop waves through a curveball, and it's 1-1.
A little bit of a dip and dive curveball there by Jerwa, but if you're Obertop, you're sitting in a position that you would love to have coming back as a new hitter. Men on, you hope you can get something going and perhaps get your own batting career for the rest of this season hot.
The 1-1 pitch clips the inside corner on a fastball, and it's 1-2. We know about Obertop's prodigious power. Struck 15 home runs last season.
Obertop definitely still feeling out this Jerwa.
The 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball low and away. Ball 2. Jerwa eyeing a way out of this inning. He's given up 4 consecutive base knocks. Michigan's tagged him for 3 runs in the frame. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Low and in on a fastball, ball 3. And Obertop has worked the count full with Jack Van Remortel waiting on deck. Burden the runner on third. Kim leads off at first. Full count pitch on its way to Obertop with 2 outs in the second. Jerwa comes set. Here's the pitch. Low and in, ball 4. He missed on a fastball, and Jimmy Obertop is on base for the first time this year with a 2-out walk to load the bases.
And you know, Jared, Obertop content to sit back and work through his first few at-bats here with the Wolverines. We know he's known for power, but coming back into a bit of a newer season for him, despite not being one for the Wolverines, he's going to have to take some time to adjust. As much as he'd love to come back and slash another 15 home runs like he did last season, it's going to be the 3-2 walks in situations like these that really help his team.
First pitch to Van Remortel misses outside, 1-0. The bases are loaded against Joseph Jerwa with Burden on at third, Kim on at second, and Obertop on at first. The last 5 batters have reached in the inning. Van Remortel, right-handed hitter, steps in. The 1-0 pitch is a curveball low, ball 2. Or actually, they'll call it at the knees, a strike. A generous call there by the home plate umpire, Chris Koski, helping out Joseph Jerwa. 1-1 the count with the bases full. Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball nubbed foul off the railing in front of the Michigan State dugout, and Jerwa is ahead 1-2.
Not many more batters in this Michigan lineup with 2 outs, but a full bases here. Then Van Remortel, we know how excellent he's been all season.
Batting .412 over his last 5 games. The 1-2 pitch. Pulled to third. Kark behind the bag. He'll go to second just in time to get the force to retire the side. But not before. Michigan hangs a 3 spot on Joseph Jerwa with 4 consecutive 2-out base knocks to reclaim a 4-2 lead. Heading to the third from Ray Fisher, it's the Wolverines up by 2. So an impressive showing in that last half inning for the Wolverines, battling back after Michigan State scored a couple runs in the top of the second. Michigan struck with 3 in the bottom of the second, and all of a sudden, Noah Renard comes back to the mound with a 4-2 lead.
And we know Noah Renard's happy to have that lead back. Probably felt a little bit of guilt after giving up that 1-0 lead earlier, but he goes into the dugout 2-0, and then he comes right back out of it up 4-2. So certainly 2-1, I should say, rather. He comes back out 4-2. A new game for Renard. We know that he's a guy struggling with location early on here, struggling with maybe a little bit of confidence on this wet day after spiking a pitch and missing a double play, but up 2 runs and suddenly it's a new ball game.
His first pitch to Sam Bush is a fastball that clips the outside corner, 0-1. Bush, a left-handed hitter, had a 2-out single back in the first. Renard into the windup. The 0-1 pitch is a changeup that misses low, 1-1. It's 4-5-6 in the Michigan State order against Renard in the third. Bush, Brecker, and Frank. 1-1 pitch. Fouled off down the left field side out of play. Well, Renard was handed a 1-0 lead as he took the mound in the second and promptly coughed that one up, giving up a couple of runs. He's now up 4-2 as we open play in the third. Burden, the second baseman, is on the lip of the outfield grass in shallow right field against the lefty Bush. Renard's 1-2 pitch. Wave and a miss. He chased the pitch in the dirt, so Trace will make the throw down to first to retire Bush for the first out of the inning. So Renard gets his second strikeout of the day and begins the third on an auspicious note.
An auspicious note indeed. We've seen that Noah Renard in his previous 2 half innings struggled with letting men on base earlier in the innings, but a first out here is exactly what he wants, and hopefully he can keep it rolling if he wants to get the Wolverines back up at bat soon.
And Brian Brecker into the box. Renard's first pitch is a fastball just above the letters for a ball, and it's 1-0. Brecker came to the plate with a couple man on in the first, but promptly grounded out to third to retire the side. 1-0 the count. Renard kicks the rubber and deals. A breaking ball popped up, shallow right field. Van Remortel backpedaling on the lip of the outfield grass makes the two-handed catch for the second out of the inning.
And we see Michigan State not necessarily getting the same baseball luck that the Wolverines have gotten so far. You know, not excellent contact there by Brecker, but we've seen the Wolverines have that exact same hit, and it just turns out a different way. And for Renard, you're breathing a sigh of relief that this one's going your way.
2 out and nobody on for Jack Frank. First pitch from Renard is a fastball, misses off the outer half, 1-0. Frank singled and scored Michigan State's first run of the day in the second. Left-handed hitter, batting .331 on the year. Renard's 1-0. There's a changeup over for a strike, and it's 1-1. Renard looking for the first 1-2-3 inning on either side this afternoon. 1-1 pitch, way inside on a fastball, and it's 2-1. 4-2 Michigan on top here in the third in what has been an action-packed game so far. 2-1 the count to the left-hand hitter Frank. Renard into the windup and deals. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and it's 2-2. Frank fooled on that one. He has struck out 33 times of the year. Renard eyeing his third strikeout here. Into the windup. 2-2 pitch. Low and away. And the count's run full.
And despite that one not landing where Renard wanted to, I want to go back to that second strike right there, that higher fastball that Renard gets Frank to swing at. That's exactly where he wants to be if he wants to have longevity.
3-2 the count. Renard deals, and Frank lifts it in the air towards left center. Kim on his horse in the gap. He's going to get there. Well in left center, runs it down to make the two-handed catch to retire the side. It's a 1-2-3 shutdown inning for Noah Renard. We're heading to the bottom of the third from Ray Fisher. Michigan up 4-2.
Jack Frank putting a little too much air under it, but what a difference one inning can make for Noah Renard, getting that 2-run lead, and he does not want to give it up. 1-2-3 inning, you're exactly right, Jared. What did you see out of Renard that made him so potent?
He just came right after hitters, and it's certainly got to make Tracy Smith feel good. Noah Renard getting that shutdown inning. Pitching has been so suspect this year for Michigan. Really anyone but O'Halloran and Allen has really struggled. But Renard, after Michigan spotted him the 2-run lead, came back out to the mound and went right after hitters and was able to get a 1-2-3 frame against the heart of Michigan State's order.
Exactly, and we know Renard exited in the fourth inning in his previous time out for the Wolverines. So hopefully longevity is exactly what Tracy Smith wants to see out of Renard. We know he has it in him, but his ability to limit his control issues so far, especially as he's gone deeper and deeper into this game, has to be pleasing for Smith and the pitching staff.
4-2 Michigan on top here as we begin playing in the bottom of the third. Joseph Jerwa finishing his warm-up pitches just right now. Jerwa had a world of trouble in the bottom of the second. After retiring 2 of the first 3 batters, it seemed to be an innocuous inning, but the next 4 Michigan hitters knocked 2 out singles to tag Jerwa for 3 runs in the inning and give Michigan that 4-2 lead. But Voigt led off the bottom of the second, a lead off the bottom of the third here too. It's 6, 7, 8 in the order. Voigt, Marty, and Flores. The right-handed hitter climbs into the box. The southpaw Jerwa comes set into the windup, and his first pitch to Voigt is a curveball over for a strike. 0-1. Voigt worked his 5-pitch walk leading off the second. The 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball nubbed foul up the first base side, and it's quickly 0-2. So Jerwa, and a good sign for Michigan State, coming right after Voigt to open the bottom of the third. Second baseman Farquhar behind the bag. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. A 3-pitch strikeout for Jerwa to open the third.
And that's a welcome difference for Joseph Jerwa after giving up a 5-pitch walk to Voigt just 1 inning ago. We know he's happy to see that quick 1 up, 1 down so far.
And Jake Marty, another right-handed hitter, steps into the box. Jerwa's first pitch is a fastball that misses outside, 1-0. Corners pinched in against Marty. There was plenty of speed. 1-0 the count. Jerwa deals a breaking ball that misses up and away, ball 2. 2-0 the count. Jerwa deals. And that breaking ball's over for a strike. And it's 2-1.
A nice recovery by Jerwa there after a 2-0 count that is certainly not favorable in his way. He's able to regain control of that breaking ball.
Jerwa into the windup. 2-1 pitch. A slashed foul down the right field side. That's heading to the parking lot. And it one-hops a series of cars. We've got a pretty good crowd this afternoon at Ray Fisher, and I like how everyone rises in anticipation to see which car those foul balls are going to strike. 2-2 the count. Jerwa deals. Marty chops it foul up the first base line, and it stays 2-2.
And everybody hopes it's not their car. You know, you can feel the insurance prices rising as you watch them fly over out there past outfield.
2-2 the count. Sixth pitch of the at-bat upcoming. From Jerwa to Marty with one away here in the third. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball popped up, shallow left. Mays going out, or coming in rather. That'll make the one-handed catch for the second out of the inning. Mays is playing a very deep left field, but that one hung up long enough, allowing him to get to it.
And that one comes in on the hands of Jake Marty, but if you're Joseph Jerwa, you breathe a sigh of relief that finally a not-so-well-hit ball actually lands for an out instead of a bloop that leads to more runners on base. Now here, Tito Flores with a tall task with 2 out, trying to get this rally going, this run going, I should say.
And Flores flew out to the warning track in the left center. His first time up. Jerwa's first pitch is a breaking ball that sails outside, 1-0. Flores hitting just 195 on the year. Has been a stalwart in this lineup for so many years, but still trying to get going. As the 1-0 misses off the plate, ball 2. Nobody on here in the bottom of the third in a 4-2 game. Michigan on top with 2 outs in the inning. Jerwa deals. And Flores with an ugly swing at a curveball, and it's 2-1.
A little bit of a hack there by Flores. We know that if you've seen the scouting report of about the last 30 minutes of this game, Jerwa's been missing outside, so it's not necessarily the pitch you want to swing at.
2-1 pitch, and Flores bloops that one to right center. Ziegler coming on in the gap. He's not going to get there. It's down for a base hit. Frank over to field it. He'll keep Flores on at first with another one of those soft bloopers that lands in no man's land. That's the third one today that's benefited Michigan.
Tito Flores, what a great recovery by him. Getting the swing there. You know, his previous swing, a pretty bad whiff on a pitch moving outside evidently, but the difference one pitch can make, and now there's one on with 2 outs, a position that Michigan's been in before and capitalized on.
Gabe Sotrace, right-handed hitter, climbs in. First pitch from Jerwa, sails up and away, ball 1. Michigan State has 3 infielders stacked on the left side against Sotrace, the former Spartan. He used that vacated hole in right center, going the other way for a knock in the second. 1-0 pitch, outside, ball 2. And the other thing, with Jerwa consistently missing outside, that would seemingly behoove Sotrace to just poke it that way and certainly make that task easier. Nonetheless, the Spartans align that way. The 2-0 chop to third. What do I know? Clark Fields will go the short way to get the force and retire the side. So 1 hit, 1 left. Heading to the 4th at Ray Fisher. Michigan up 4-2.
And you know, Jared, despite the fact that Michigan was not able to convert on some of their runners earlier in this inning, Jerwa's pitch count seemingly creeping up with all of these unfavorable counts that he continues to put himself in. You know, even against Sotrace there, a 2-0 count that he digs himself into a bit of a hole with. And although he's able to get out of it, that adds up. And after a while, you see that only into the 4th inning here, his pitch count's exceeding 70. So there's a question of how long he'll be able to continue to perform deep into this game.
And that's true on the other side, too, with Noah Renard making just his 3rd start of the year. Didn't last past the 4th inning his last time out against Rutgers on Sunday, but he did throw 70 pitches, and he's managed to keep that pitch count at a respectable 50 pitches through 3 innings so far this afternoon. So we'll see what the leash is like as on Renard, who chose the rubber, set to begin his 4th frame of work this afternoon with Michigan up 4-2.
And the key here has definitely been a battle of control between Jerwa and Renard. Renard now gets his opportunity after a pretty strong 1-2-3 inning previously. Let's see if he can keep that rolling. Of course, he wants to. Tracy Smith wants to see it happen. We know with their continued pitching highs and lows and a little bit of woes in between, Jerwa did his part, and now the task is back on Renard. And what I'd like to see out of Renard here, Jared, I don't know about you, that control of that high fastball, his ability to garner whiffs from Spartan batters with that riser.
He struck out 2, 1 in each of the last 2 innings, and has gotten a fair amount of swings and misses this afternoon. And Renard completes his warm-up pitches. We're ready to get going in the top of the 4th from Ray Fisher. Noah Renard staked to a 4-2 lead with Michigan in front. It'll be 7, 8, 9 in the Michigan State batting order here in this inning. Kark, Mays, and Ziegler, with Kark, the right-handed hitter, stepping into the box. Laced a double into left center in his lone at-bat in this ballgame. Renard into the windup. His first pitch is a fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. Kark had the ground rule double in left center, the ball bouncing over that wall, which robbed him of an RBI. 0-1 the count. Renard deals, and Kark pounds it to third. Voigt charging to his left. He'll field fire in time for the first out of the inning.
Another quick up, quick down for Noah Renard, who has to be happy with his performance thus far in the second half of his work to date. And now Michigan State kind of still scratching their head about how to fully crack him open, putting up a 2 spot in their second opportunity, but yet to really capitalize so far.
Renard has now retired the last 5 batters he's faced. His first pitch to Mays is a fastball cut on and miss. 0-1. Mays lifted a sacrifice fly into the gap back in the second, scoring the first run of the day. 0-1 poured over for a strike, and it's 0-2. So Renard looking like a completely different pitcher ever since getting the final out in that second inning. Into the windup, 0-2 pitch to Mays. Rides high on a fastball, 1-2. 1 away here in the top of the 4th. Michigan up 4-2. Nobody on for Michigan State. Mays the lefty at the plate with Ziegler waiting on deck. 1-2 the count. Renard into the windup and deals. 1-2 pitch, poked into left center. Kim shaded that way in the gap. He'll call off Flores, waits for it to come down, and makes the 2-handed catch for the second out of the inning. So Noah Renard continues to induce some lazy, soft contact, and he's now set down the last 6 Spartans. As Greg Ziegler, the center fielder, steps into the box, one of 2 strikeout victims on the day. Right-handed hitter. Awaits the first pitch from Renard, who kicks and deals. First pitch popped up. Right side, out of play into the stands, and the bearded gentleman cannot make the catch. What a beard.
Certainly, Jared. That's one that looks like it'll take a little bit of time to, grow out if you're someone like me. I mean, I can't really speak to my ability to have such a majestic mane like that, but nevertheless, he recovers the ball after the missed catch.
0-1 count. Renard deals. Popped up down the right field side. Van Vermortel hoping for a play, angling near the sidewall, and that goes against the concrete. A foul ball.
Rolling into the parking lot. That's one the bearded man can't even get to.
Renard eyeing his second straight 1-2-3 inning here in the 4th. Peers toward his glove, now toes the rubber. Comes set. The 0-2 pitch to Ziegler. Chop to short. Jeffries charging. Fields it on a couple of hops. Throw on the run. Not in time. Ziegler with his speed able to beat it out. Jeffries playing back at short, and it's an infield hit for Greg Ziegler.
A tough ball to field for Jeffries. He tries his best. The leadoff man here for the Wolverines, he knows a thing or two about speed, and after 2 little bounces and a nice gloved play, you see he's tapping his head out there. Maybe a little bit of a my bad indication, but a tough play nonetheless. Now there's 1 on with 2 outs.
And Ziegler has stolen 6 bags on the air, so that's something for Renard to keep an eye on. His first pitch to Farquhar, left-handed hitter, is on the outside corner. A fastball for a strike, 0-1. Farquhar is in his 3rd plate appearance right now. He's walked twice this afternoon. 4-2 Michigan here in the top of the 4th. Renard comes set, now deals home. The 0-1 hammered out towards right, hit pretty well, chasing Marty back at the wall, and he'll make the catch a couple inches shy of the fence. So a long final out of the inning. Renard can breathe a sigh of relief as he smiles coming off the mound. Heading to the bottom of the 4th in Ray Fisher. Michigan up 4-2.
And a little bit of an eye for an eye play there. You have to think back to just 2 innings ago after Tito Flores sailed one out into deep left center field, right deep onto the warning track. It was an out that went in favor of the Spartans. And now, to end the inning there, one that goes the other way. Michigan gets its own sigh of relief after a missed home run with 1 man on.
And that ball jumped off Farquhar's bat, but you could tell by the way that Jake Marty had that ball measured up, his body language indicated that he knew that was going to stay in the ballpark. So 4-2 Michigan as we head to the bottom of the 4th, and Noah Renard has really settled down. He's retired 7 of the last 8 Michigan State hitters, helping calm the storm here after he allowed 2 runs in the top of the 2nd, but back-to-back impressive innings for Renard.
And Jerwa here looking to kind of do the same after giving up a 0 spot in the 3rd inning. He now gets another opportunity against this Wolverine offense that has found a little bit of a spark today, Jared. We know that Jerwa has it in him to be successful, but right now still struggling with locations. He hopes he can begin to rival Renard's ability to settle in today.
Jared Greenspan here at Ray Fisher Stadium alongside John Tondora for the opening game of this 3-game set between Michigan and Michigan State. So far, so good for the Wolverines. Up 4-2 here as we begin play in the bottom of the 4th. It's 1-2-3 in the Michigan batting order against Joseph Jerwa, and that starts with Cody Jeffress. The left-hander steps in. He'll face the southpaw Jerwa for the 3rd time today. He's dunked 2 base knocks, 1 into left and 1 into center. Neither had any business of being a hit, but it's his lucky day. First pitch from Jerwa is a fastball that sails outside, 1-0. And Jeffress has driven in 2 runs and scored twice following those pair of base knocks. The 1-0 slashed foul down the left field side, and it's 1-1. Jeffress hitting .252 on the year now, with a couple of singles today. Been a spark plug atop the Michigan lineup this afternoon and all year. 1-1 pitch, chopped to second. Farquhar ranges to his right. Fields fires, and he gets Jeffress by half a stride for the first out of the inning.
And a little bit of a regression to the mean here for Cody Jeffress after those 2 bloops that maybe should have been an out if you ask Joseph Jerwas, but regardless, they've helped ignite this Michigan offense, and suddenly, after making perhaps even a little bit of better contact than in his first 2 at-bats, all the same, it's an out for the Wolverines.
That's got to feel good for Joseph Jerwa to finally retire Cody Jeffress. His first pitch to Burden is on the inside corner, a fastball for a strike, 0-1. Burden, right-handed hitter, is 1 for 2 on the afternoon with a single. Jerwa's 0-1. Burden hammers one deep to left. Mays will watch it go. It's gone over the brick wall for Ted Burden. He hammers one out to left, and it's 5-2 Wolverines.
And just as Joseph Jerwa thinks that he's cracked the code, getting Cody Jeffress to ground out, suddenly it's Ted Burton saying, hey, I want to get in on the action too. And now, what you previously called, Jared, it's a 5-2 game. Perhaps you were just a little bit early to the moment, but you're right nonetheless now.
Well, Ted Burton with a moonshot over that very tall brick wall in left, an absolute no-doubter for his 7th home run of the year, making it 5-2 Wolverines. That's got to feel good for Ted Burton, the entire Michigan dugout coming out of the dugout to greet him. And now the umpire's convening for a conversation up the first base line. Not exactly sure what the deal is here. Jonathan Kim is at the plate. Joseph Jerwa's on the mound. They're both waiting to get going here. That ball clearly fair off the bat of Burton, so unclear what the ordeal is at the moment. And they signaled safe, so that clearly was the conversation. Whether that ball was fair or foul, it wasn't particularly close. And now that we have all those shenanigans sorted out, it's 5-2 Michigan with a 1 away in the bottom of the 4th, and Jonathan Kim, the left-handed hitter, climbing in against Jerwa, the lefty pitcher, whose first pitch is off the plate, but Kim checked his swing and he went around, said third base umpire Sean Howard, and it's 0-1. The 3 infielders stacked on the right side against Kim. The 0-1 from Jerwa just off the plate, 1-1, and Kim able to lay off that breaking ball. Kim is 2 for 2 on the afternoon. Jerwa's 1-1, sails outside 2-1. Kim has a triple and a single, so we're on early cycle watch for Jonathan Kim, the freshman. 2-1 the count. Jerwa deals home, and Kim Laces that one well to right, but Frank has it lined up, easing over in the gap, and makes the one-handed catch for the second out. And here is Jimmy Obertop. The right-handed hitter climbs into the box, making his first appearance of the year this afternoon. He struck out and walked in 2 plate appearances. One of Michigan's best hitters, the senior has missed all year with an arm injury, finally back today. The first pitch from Jerwa sits low, a fastball, and it's 1-0.
Jimmy Obertop hopefully looking to go the way of Ted Burton, seeing contact can be made.
The 1-0 breaking ball off the outside corner for a ball, and it's 2-0. And Obertop has that prodigious power with 15 home runs last season. 2-0 the count. Jerwa at the belt now deals. That's over for a strike, and it's 2-1. Jack Van Remortel would be next if Obertop can keep the inning alive. 2 out and nobody on in the 4th. Jerwa deals, and Obertop rips that one into left field for a base hit. Welcome back, Jimmy. His first base knock of the year gets a nice ovation, and he's on at first with a 2-out single.
And you've got to feel really good right now if you're Jimmy Obertop. That's one that you really like to see lace its way up down that third base line. You know, there's always that thought in the back of your mind coming back from injury. I know I've felt it, especially playing baseball. Am I going to start in a slump? Am I going to start not being able to produce after a prolific season last year? And thankfully, that monkey's off his back.
A sight for sore eyes. Obertop with the hit. Michigan has a 2-out base runner as Jack Van Remortel, right-hander, steps in and takes a first pitch breaking ball at the letters for a strike, 0-1. Michigan up 5-2 here with 2 away in the bottom of the 4th. A run already home in the inning on a homer by Burden. 0-1 the count to Van Remortel. Jerwa's pitch is popped up into right. Frank has it measured up, drifting back a couple of strides. Shy of the track, reaches up and makes the one-handed catch to retire the side. But Michigan adds to its lead. Ted Burden with a solo shot to left. 1 run on a couple of hits and 1 left. End of 4 in Ann Arbor. Michigan up 5-2.
Joseph Jerwa giving up yet another run. That's 3 of 4 innings pitched, having given up a run. Comparatively, Noah Renard, other than that second inning blemish, has been pretty successful today for a Wolverine team looking for pitching consistency. Jared, what do you think the keys here for Noah Renard after making it his deepest into a pitching outing in quite some time?
Well, saddled with a 3-run cushion, Renard just has to keep throwing strikes. He was handed a 1-0 lead that he coughed up in the top of the 2nd, but since being gifted a 3-2 lead, Renard has shut Michigan State down, just coming after Spartan hitters. He's walked Farquhar twice today, but hasn't walked a batter since that 2nd inning. And it'll be 2, 3, and 4 in Michigan State's order, set to greet Noah Renard. So an important inning here against the heart of the Spartans lineup, with Michigan up 5-2, and Noah Renard heading into territory that he hasn't been in quite some time. His last time out didn't get out of the 4th inning, and he's only thrown as many as 4 innings twice this year. March 26th in a start against Penn State, through 5 2/3 innings pitched. That's the longest he's pitched this season, and now working into the 5th for just the 2nd time this season. Renard stands on the rubber. Jeb, the left-handed hitter, climbs into the box, and we're ready to kick off the top of the 5th. Renard kicks and deals, and his first pitch is a breaking ball low, ball 1.
Noah Renard looking to accomplish some own personal season history today. If he can get out of this inning, as you mentioned, Jared, it would be the deepest run he's had so far as a starter.
1-0 pitch to Jeb is a breaking ball hammered out towards right center, chasing Marty back in the gap, looking up. It's off the wall. It caroms away from him. Jeb racing towards second, now flying towards third. As Kim gets to it, he spikes the throw to the cutoff man, and in at third with a stand-up bleed-off triple is Mitch Jeb.
Noah Renard here with a little bit of early pressure. 2 misplays, one by Marty, not exactly tracking the ball as best as he would have hoped, certainly having to play it off the wall, off another bounce. And then Jonathan Kim, spiking it out of center field to the cutoff man. Certainly not something you want if you're the Wolverines, and suddenly a double becomes a triple. And with no outs, Noah Renard has gotten himself into an early sticky situation.
6th hitter today for the Spartans, looking to claw their way out of this 5-2 hole. Nobody out in the top of the 5th. Runner at third, and Ben Radenberg, lefty, steps in. The first pitch from Renard, just off the outside corner on a fastball, and it's 1-0. So a tight strike zone this afternoon for Chris Koski. And Radenberg, opponent hitter, he's been retired twice this afternoon on a comebacker and a pop-up. 1-0 the count. Renard deals, and Radenberg shoots it foul on the left field side. It's 1-1. Radenberg hitting .413 with a .730 slugging percentage and a .500 on-base percentage, all top on the Spartans.
And those are just numbers that jump off the page. Seemingly they catch your eye for anyone.
1-1. Fastball misses up and away. 2-1.
You know, Vradenberg Brock, he's been the rock of this team so far offensively, and of course defensively as well, coming out of that first base position.
You've been sitting on that one.
Oh, yeah.
2-1 the count to the Rock. Renard deals, and Radenberg sends a high fly ball to center field. Not too deep, but should be deep enough. Kim settles under it. Jeb's going to tag. Kim makes the catch. Fires home. Jeb's going to score with these. He'll slide in for good measure. It's a sacrifice fly for Ben Radenberg. The Spartans get a run closer, and it's 5-3.
And while Brock the Rock may have been stonewalled, the fact of the matter is a great throw by Kim just isn't enough. And now suddenly the Spartans are starting to creep back in. You don't have to get it all in one inning, but 5-3, and you have to wonder if Noah Renard is starting to feel the pressure of going this deep into a game.
So clean slate now for Renard with one away and Bush climbing in. Renard's first pitch is fouled down the left field side out of play. Bush, left-handed hitter, singled back in the first and struck out in a feeble at-bat in the third. Renard toes the rubber. Into the windup, the 0-1 pitch. Popped up left side of the infield. Voigt behind the bag, angling towards foul territory, leaps and makes a two-handed catch for the second out of the inning. So nice job by Renard with that inside pitch, able to saw off Bush. Now 2 outs, nobody on, and Brecker coming to the plate.
And for Bush, that's a difficult hit to make. You have to be surprised he even made contact, but right in on the hands, that's never a recipe for contact success.
And Brecker climbs into the box, right-handed batter. Renard into the windup. His first pitch is pulled to third. Voigt handles the tough hop, bobbles it, still has time, guns it over to first, and he gets Brecker by half a stride. Well, Voigt behind the bag didn't field it cleanly at first, but he stayed with it, made the throw, and retired the side. So 1 hit and 1 run for the Spartans, none left in the 5th. Heading to the bottom of the 5th, Ray Fisher. Michigan still on top. It's 5-3.
And you called it right, Jared. Guns it indeed. Mitch Voigt, like you said, a bobbled play there, but he loads up, doesn't even take that much of a hop, and zips it over to first base for that final out. You know, that's one thing. That's why they call it the hot corner. But one thing you have to remember, Mitch Voigt here, only a freshman, and he's even, you know, he's seen action for the Wolverines on defense all over the place. A natural third baseman, I believe, but you kind of understand why he's become a staple of this Wolverine lineup. Defensive plays like that, clutch hitting at times. He really is the full package, especially for such a young player right now.
Heading to the bottom of the 5th with Michigan on top 5-3. It'll be a new pitcher for the Spartans. Looks to be Noah Matheny for Michigan State. Joseph Jerwa's day appears to be done. We'll run you through his line real quick. It was an up and down performance by Jerwa. Pitched 4 innings and gave up a run in 3 of them. Tagged for 9 hits, 5 runs, walked a couple, and struck out 3 in 23 batters faced. Gave up a long home run to Burden, a couple of extra base hits. Through 88 pitches, only 56 of them strikes. So Michigan really had Joseph Jerwa's number today. And now it'll be up to Matheny to keep this one close, with Michigan up 5-3 in the bottom of the 5th.
You're exactly right, Jared. A valiant effort by Joseph Jerwa, but certainly one he's going to want to have back, especially against a Wolverine offense that we've seen throughout the season has the ability to be shut down, just not Joseph Jerwa's day. We know he struggled with control, especially on pitches to righties, going outside, fading outside. His patented breaking balls didn't seem to be hitting the corners like he wanted them to, and now Michigan State's going to have to call upon a different man to toe the slab right now.
And it'll be Noah Matheny, the new pitcher for the Spartans. 6'2", 220-pound redshirt sophomore from Illinois. He's pitched in 20 innings this year as a 7.65 ERA. The right-hander toes the rubber. Mitch Voigt, right-handed hitter, climbs into the box. And Matheny comes to the belt, into the windup. His first pitch of the day is a fastball that rides high, 1-0. Well, in those 20 innings, Matheny has given up 20 hits and walked 17 batters while striking out 23. So command, an issue for him. 1-0 pitch to Voigt, and that's a high pop-up into left center. Hit fairly deep, but Ziegler has it lined up, a couple strides shy of the track, waits for it to come down and makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
You know, Mitch Voigt trying to play a little bit of hero ball there. He ends the inning with that electric throw from third base, looking for a little bit extra sauce on that hit too, but just not enough as the center fielder ranges over.
Joey Velasquez is going to pinch hit here for the Wolverines. Velasquez has been one of Michigan's sizzling hot hitters. The left-hander entered the game on an 8-game hitting streak and a 12-game on-base streak. Both lead the team. But he did not start today against the southpaw Joseph Jerwa, but he's in here in the 5th, pinch hitting for Jake Marty. The first pitch from Matheny is a fastball that misses outside, 1-0. Marty was 0 for 2. Now Velasquez gets the favorable matchup here against the righty. 1-0 pitch, popped up foul a few feet to our left, and it's 1-1. And Velasquez has really come on and average up to 247, and his emergence just adds to the potency of this Michigan lineup, especially with Obertop back. 1-1 pitch, wave and a miss on a fastball at 91 miles an hour, and it's 1-2.
And you know, it's a tall order for Velasquez, coming in a little bit cold, facing a pitcher that you've not been able to scout from earlier in the day, but he is a hot hitter right now.
1-2 pitch, breaking ball just off the outside corner for a ball, and it's 2-2. Well, Brian Brecker behind the plate popped up. He was ready to throw that one around the horn, but Chris Koski said not today. And so it's 2-2. Matheny looking to settle in. Into the windup, 2-2 pitch to Velasquez. Wave and a miss, chased a fastball above the zone, and so Joey Velasquez strikes out for the second out of the inning. So far, so good in relief for Noah Matheny.
Noah Matheny's got to be thankful that he's taken down such a hot hitter right now in Velasquez. He's not out of the woods just yet, of course, facing number 22, Tito Flores, but he's one step closer to having the innings that Joseph Gerbil wish he maybe could have had earlier.
And Flores, right-handed hitter, climbs into the box against the right-handed Matheny into the windup. First pitch fouled off down the right field side out of play. 0-1. Flores has swung the bat well today. He drove one to the warning track back in the second that was caught, and then singled on a bloop hit back in the third. Matheny looking for a 1-2-3 inning in relief. Into the windup, the 0-1, yanked outside on the fastball, and it's 1-1. One the count from Matheny to the right-hand hitting Flores. That average up to 202. The 1-1 laced into left center. That average keeps on climbing. Tito Flores with a base knock. Ziegler gets to it to cut it off in the gap, and he'll fire it in to keep Flores on at first with another 2-out single.
Michigan today, the king of 2-out competition, 2-out contact. You know, now Gabe Sotres coming up, hoping to do a little bit of damage that he just missed out on this previous inning. His time up, but Tito Flores doing what he does best, getting on, setting the table, staying pesky for this Wolverine offense that thrives off of having its later batters find success.
And so here's Gabe Sotres, the former Spartan, 1 for 2 on the afternoon with a single and a run scored. Short lead on at first for Flores. Matheny comes to the belt, now deals, and Sotres swings through a fastball, 0-1.
Flores only 1 for 1 this year on stolen bases, not necessarily the same scare that Matheny might feel should he have been facing someone earlier in the lineup, but nevertheless, you can't count out his speed, especially in these 2-out scenarios.
0-1 the count, a short lead on at first for Flores. Here's the pitch. Low and away, ball 1. 2 out with a runner at first here in a 5-3 game. Michigan on top in the bottom of the 5th. Wolverines have pounded out 10 hits already, just halfway through this one. Matheny, the first pitcher out of the bullpen today for Michigan State. 1-1 the count. Peers towards home. Long pause and he deals. And it's a breaking ball over for a strike, or a fastball rather. and it's 1-2. 92 on that fastball from Matheny.
A little bit of heat the Wolverines aren't necessarily used to after Jerwa was topping out at about 88, 89 miles per hour.
1-2 pitch, and Sotrace fouls it at the plate, shot that one right into his body, and it stays 1-2.
One ball, two strike here from Matheny. You have to think he's looking to just close it out and close it out fast. He's been watching from the dugout. He knows that the Wolverines do not give up in these situations.
Jerva was sitting about 88 on his fastball. Matheny dialed that last one up to 94. The 1-2 pitch rides high on another fastball at 92, and it's 2-2.
Chris Koski definitely keeping a tight strike zone here today, especially up high. He's not giving these pitchers any sort of wiggle room.
Short leadoff first for Flores. Matheny deals home the 2-2, lifted in the air to right. This one's chasing Frank backpedaling a few feet shy of the track, makes the one-handed catch to retire the side. So out of the bullpen, Noah Matheny works a scoreless inning. No runs, a hit, one left. We're through 5 at Ray Fisher. Michigan on top, 5-3. So a nice job by Noah Matheny, him and his 7.40 ERA, able to work a scoreless frame. And relief pitching is going to be pivotal today for Michigan State. Bide some time to allow the offense to get back into this game, currently facing a 5-3 deficit.
Certainly, Jared, and we know that Michigan and Michigan State both searching for a little bit of help here pitching-wise. You can never have enough successful pitching, especially down the stretch here in seasons like this. Michigan still content to send out Noah Renard, looking to complete his first 6th inning of the season, but you can only wonder how much farther he can go despite having such a strong day for his standards and for this Michigan pitching rotation. But he's not going to last forever, and the Spartans are certainly chomping at the bit to see if they can tap into this Wolverine rotation.
Noah Renard back out for more in the top of the 6th. He's been solid through 5, giving up 3 runs on 6 hits, and most importantly, just providing Tracy Smith with some innings. Wolverines had to use 6 pitchers on Wednesday in the 10-7 loss to Toledo. Connor O'Halloran, the normal Friday night starter and one of the best pitchers in the country, pushed back to either Saturday or Sunday by virtue of him pitching last Sunday against Rutgers. The weather in Piscataway really messed that series up, and so Tracy Smith, rather than rush O'Halloran back on a little less rest than usual, decided to give him an extra day or two to get back on schedule.
And should this go the way the Wolverines wanted to, they're hoping to steal a game here from Michigan State with O'Halloran coming out in either a day or two. That's a scary thought if you're the Spartans right now, seeing that they're going to have to face another excellent pitcher who they expected would probably play either today or tomorrow. But suddenly, if you lose one game of this series and you're facing O'Halloran and Allen coming up, you know that you have a tall order ahead of you.
Renard's first pitch of the inning to Jack Frank is low. Check swing. He went, though, for the first strike. Frank, left-handed hitter, climbs in. He's 1 for 2 on the afternoon with a single back in the 2nd and a fly out to center in the 3rd. Renard, 71 pitches deep on the afternoon. 0-1 pitch. Wave and a miss at another breaking ball, and it's quickly 0-2. Michigan up 5-3 as we open play in the top of the 6th. Noah Renard has given Tracy Smith everything he could have asked for so far today, and he's looking to keep going strong. 0-2 the count. Renard into the windup, and he deals. Poked in the left. Voigt with the diving stop to his left. Gets up, fires to first. Not in time. And Frank beats it out. Well, a spectacular stop diving to his left by Mitch Voigt, who was playing well off the line. But the hustle by Frank, who has a lot of speed, has 15 stolen bases on the year, and he's able to beat it out. It's the 2nd time today that he's beaten out an infield hit.
And first base umpire there, Mark Winters, seemed to say that first baseman for Michigan, Jack Van Remorel, may have pulled his foot off the bag as well, complicating that safe call.
First pitch to Kark is fouled off down the right field side. Frank was going. He'll trot back to first. Mentioned those 15 stolen bases a moment ago. He's been caught just 3 times, so Renard and Sotrace certainly have to keep an eye on the running game here. Right-hand hitting Kark is at the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a ground rule double to left center.
Still down 2 runs. We're seeing now Michigan State testing Renard's ability to hold the runners.
0-1 the count. Here's the pitch, not going, and it's chopped slowly up the third base side, and Voigt wisely lets it roll foul. 0-2, so Renard, for the second time this inning, is ahead of the batter, 0-2. Mays and then Ziegler, the bottom of the order in this inning, up against Renard, looking to claw away at the deficit. Michigan State down 5-3 here in the 6th. 0-2 the count, big lead on at first for Frank. Renard comes set, now deals home, and it's popped up right side, shallow right. Velasquez easing in toward the line, makes the catch for the first out. We should note that Velasquez into this ball game after pinch hitting for Marty, and he stayed in to play right field. The ball always finds you, and it found Velasquez there.
Certainly right, Jared. Velasquez getting his action in early, after coming in. You almost kind of hope you get to ease in after pinch hitting there, but no can do.
So 1 away and a runner on at first. The first pitch home is high. There goes the runner. Sotrace's throw down on a hop. He got him. Nabs Frank trying to steal a beautiful one-hop throw by Gabe Sotrace to erase the base runner for the second out of the inning.
And an immaculate catch and tag there by Cody Jeffries, grabbing it kind of up and to the right of where you would want it. Nevertheless, he turns around, reaches, and tags him just in time.
So the 4th time this year in 19 tries that Frank has been caught stealing. That's a big second out here. Nobody on. Mays at the plate. The pitch ripped into right field for a base hit. And that caught stealing looms even larger now with Casey Mays on at first with a 2-out single, and Greg Ziegler coming to the plate.
A 2-out rally here. Maybe the Spartans have something brewing, but the fact of the matter is it's been Michigan winning these small battles all day, whether it's the blue pits, whether it's the stolen bases, whether it's the ability to get runners out at the plate. It's something the Spartans need to reverse.
Renard's first pitch to Ziegler is a breaking ball over for a strike, 0-1. Ziegler 1 for 2 today with a strikeout and a single. Top of the order looms on deck, and Trent Farquhar. It's a big batter here for Noah Renard. The 0-1, breaking ball wave at a miss. Ziegler well out in front, and it's 0-2. So Renard has gotten ahead of each hitter this inning. Has had trouble putting a few away. Mays leads off of first with 2 away in a 5-3 game. Renard comes to the belt. The 0-2 pitch. Ziegler serves it foul down the right field side, heading to the parking lot. And that thuds away from cars and fans alike. And a mad dash ensues as fans sprint after the souvenir. 0-2 the count. Ziegler looking to stay alive. Renard looking for the final out of the inning. The pitch well inside, and it clipped him on the back. Ziegler wears it, and Michigan State has a couple of 2-out base runners.
And Jared, what's impressed me so far about Renard is his resiliency through the latter half of this game. He's, as you mentioned, the first 3 batters so far went 0-2 down in the count to begin with. But Renard has really struggled with his ability to convert those into strikeouts or just outs in general. And now, as you said earlier, that stolen base out looms even larger.
And a meeting is about to commence on the mound. We'll see if that's it for Noah Renard. Farquhar is a dangerous hitter. It's .387. He's walked twice and flown out to the warning track in right field. And we'll see if Michigan makes the call to the bullpen, and it looks like Tracy Smith is going to call on the southpaw Jacob Jenner to try and bail Noah Renard out of this jam. With runners at first and second and 2 out, Renard, who was very strong this afternoon, will depart. And Jacob Jenner trots in from the bullpen to try and bail him out of the jam. So Michigan brings in Jenner, the left-hander, to face the top of this Michigan State order, beginning with Farquhar, and then Jeb, Bradenberg, and Bush. The top 4 hitters all swing it from the left-handed side. So a purposeful move here from Tracy Smith. Denner, 6 foot, 195 pounds, the small left-handed pitcher, has been solid this season for Michigan. Last pitched in the